morning, welcome to Spotlight. In critical thinking, we have been learning about the House of Lords.
With this, we invited Baroness Tanni Grey Thompson in our academy to talk to us about the House of Lords.
What is your opinion on the way that society sometimes treats people with disabilities, even in your privileged position as a crossbencher in the House of Lords?
I think it's really difficult. You know, on the back of the Olympics and Paralympics, I think the attitude towards disabled athletes has just radically changed, where people are seen as, competing for the country, and it's really honourable and it's amazing to do. But on the other side of that, at the moment, the lives for the vast majority of disabled people is really difficult, because a lot of the media portrayal of them is as benefit scroungers and skivers and sucking money out of the state, and the reality is, it's not like that. People aren't on one end or the other of a kind of a line. There's lots of people sort of in the middle, and I think it's really challenging at the moment. There's still reasonable amounts of discrimination against disabled people. Disability hate crime figures are the worst they've ever been in 10 years of reporting. So there's lots of challenges, but some of it has to come from disabled people themselves. There's not as many disabled people campaigning as there used to be. There's not as many people, chaining themselves to the fences of Parliament as there used to be. So, groups of disabled people need to actually be kind of shouting out about this as well. There's lots we can do in Parliament, but also there's lots that can be done in local communities. And if, even down to if you see a disabled person being treated less favourably or being bullied, or it's other people speaking out about and helping, because next time it might be you.
What would you say the greatest challenges you've had to overcome to get where you are now?
Greatest challenges I've had to overcome is people thinking that because I'm in a chair I can't do things, that I shouldn't be in school or couldn't go to university. Actually, by the time I got to the Lords, a lot of that had disappeared, but I think my experience had given me a lot of skills to deal with it. And it still does annoy me when people will talk down to me because I'm in a chair. I was in a shop the other week and I bought something, and the lady there said, "Now put your change in your purse, don't lose it." And I was going to throw it on the floor. And you can't say that, you can't ever say that, but her view of a disabled person was that I was incompetent and shouldn't be out, and maybe shouldn't be part of society. I did have one person once who told me that people like you shouldn't have children. I went, "Oh, Welsh people, women who died there, oh, okay." And I try not to react, because actually they need educating and they need help. Not always easy to do that, but sometimes you need to take a deep breath, because actually in the position I'm in, which is very privileged, is I've got the opportunity to try and change those people's views. It doesn't always work, but it is a challenge that people will look at somebody and make a decision. They'll make a decision on what you look like, what your hair's like, whether you wear makeup or you're not wearing makeup, on your shoes, on your accent, where you live. And I think that's really hard, because actually that's not all of you as a person. That's just a little snapshot in time. So we all need to be a bit better at just being a bit more open-minded.
What has been your greatest achievement in your career so far?
I hope I haven't had my greatest achievement yet. Winning some medals on the track were pretty good. There's a few votes that I'm really proud of in the Lords, but there's still a million things, loads of things that I still want to do. So I'm not somebody who always looks backwards. I kind of try and learn from what I've done and move on. So I'm always trying to look forward and do more and be better and work harder. So I think the things that I've done on the track have helped me do the stuff I do now. But hopefully I've got lots more things that I can do.
You said you have lots more that you want to do in the future. What would some of them things be?
I'd like to see a point where there's just more respect for people, where we're very good at putting people in boxes, so as a Welsh athlete on the British team, I'm from Cardiff, I used to just get called Taff all the time, because that's the river running through the middle of Cardiff. I suppose I've experienced lots of different treatment where people make these snap decisions. So it's just been a bit more accepting of everyone around. I'd like to see better opportunities in education for everybody. That we have young people leaving schools, not being able to read or write or being excluded, you know, just helping young people see the opportunities that they have, and them being sort of responsible for what they want to do. More respect for and just understanding disability, you know, the physical side of impairment and the built environment makes a massive difference. You know, I'm only disabled, not by being in a wheelchair, but by how the world is built around me. So, you know, if actually every single door in this place was this high, I'd be great, everyone else wouldn't be. So it's getting people thinking more about the environment, what's around and open spaces. So there's loads of things that I want to do. Some I'll do, some I'll never get to. Some are just completely, you know, aspirational. But I think I've got a list. She's got about 20 things on it. Some are stupid, some are sensible. And I kind of, that changes as well. But, you know, maybe I'll get around to some of them.
If you were to be elected Prime Minister, what would you change and why?
Wow. Ooh, that is so difficult. What would I change? I would not change lots of things, actually, because what happens is every time a new government comes in, everyone's got a better idea of doing things, and everything changes. So education policy changes all the time, and sports policy changes all the time, and lots of things change all the time. And everyone kind of thinks that they need to put their own stamp on it. And what happens too much is that we throw out the good things with the things that need to be better. So sometimes I'd like to just say, okay, just stop a minute. Let's just see what we can do to improve some things rather than trying to change everything all the time. I would really like to change the benefit system to be about helping people, not about people having to prove what they can't do. I think that's really negative, and I think it makes people feel very differently about themselves. But I'm not sure that realistically could ever change, because it doesn't fit into a nice system or a box or an assessment process. And what I would love to see is people working together, but I'm not sure this would ever happen in party politics, because that's not the nature of party politics, but kind of making more collaborative decisions. You know, you see it in other countries that have coalitions of lots of different smaller parties where decisions are taken differently. Our system doesn't really make that terribly easy. So instead of it being that or that, I'd like to see us making a bit more decisions. That's some of the things the Lords does well, is trying to make some of those decisions a bit more collaboratively. But that would be difficult to do as well. And I'd probably be out of time when I try to change some of those things. But it's a pretty tough job being Prime Minister. I'm not sure I'd really want to do it, because it's just, you know, it's really hard.
I'm going to come away from the House of Lords, and to your Paralympic side. What inspired you to become a Paralympian?
Really love doing sport. I like competing. I like training. I had some really great coaches and some people around me who helped me. I like trying to win. Really like trying to win. Lost more races in my career than I won, but I just wanted to be the best I could. I wanted to kind of beat everyone else. So it was, yeah, it was kind of hard. Lots of times that were pretty miserable and hard and cold and wet and covered in snot. So that's mostly how I remember my career. But yeah, it was always what I wanted to do more than anything else. It was never a choice. People say, what did you have to sacrifice to be an athlete? Nothing. My family put up with loads. My husband, you know, I was away a lot. It was just the thing that I wanted to do, and I was really lucky to have the chance to do it. And as a child, no one thought I was any good, because the best girl in Britain went to my school and it wasn't me. So everyone always just thought she was going to be the one who made it. So that kind of made me really determined.